How you doing? I'm Tom King, and this is the 4K Skywatching podcast. It's Friday night. It's 5 o'clock, and a lot has happened. A lot. It's a lot to unpack. Going on about 30 years in this field, and we no longer are bored waiting for news to happen. Now news is happening so fast, it's getting hard to keep up. Thanks everybody for stopping by. Hopefully we got a good podcast today. I got some videos of the egg that I looked at. This is just amazing what's going on. Now, how many people, raise your hand, I can see them, last Saturday said to friends, family, co-workers, hey, check out News Nation. Saturday, the cover-up's going to end. And they're like, what cover-up? What News Nation? Just watch. They're going to blow the lid off this. And then we all watched it and just went, no. Here we are, the next podcast, waiting for news to come in. But the thing is Ross Coulthart, he delivered. He gave us everything he promised. He promised, well, to a degree, he promised that we're going to see a video of a recovery. We saw it. We're going to hear from the first-hand witness. We heard from him. However, I think all of us were disappointed. This was way, way, way overhyped. We thought that as a group, the UFO community, that this is all going to come to an end last Saturday, and it hasn't. Now, I don't really, now that I look back at this and had some time to synthesize this, I don't really blame Ross. He's a reporter. I don't blame Jake. He's an interviewee. I blame News Nation. This is, unfortunately, this old legacy thing where we sat through 15 minutes ads to listen to this. They took 3 hours of this man's interview and chopped it up and sensationalized it to the point it didn't make any sense. Now the 3-hour interview is out. I've seen it. It makes a lot more sense, but it still answers a few questions, but gives us a few answers to some of the questions we have, but then it also asks a hell of a lot more. So let's just check in, reality check. Thanks for stopping by. We have Richard Mimnick was in here first. Rich, I think I've seen you on every podcast so far, and same with Tommy Tom. Thanks for stopping by. Peggy, South Florida. Hey, you guys got snow the other day. We don't even get snow in AZ. But I might have filmed some ice crystals the other day. Mr. Tube's here. Yeah, way too much hype for this. But I do feel this is finally, now that I've seen this, I think this is the beginning of the end of this cover-up. Disclosure means a lot. but it means something different for all of us. My idea of disclosure is different from everybody else's. For some people, it already happened. The government said UFOs are real, but they didn't get into the details. For other people, disclosure won't happen until they wheel out some bodies, or a craft is seen so you can touch it and feel it. So we all have different, it's kind of like, you know it when you see it type of thing, but we can't really define it. God, let me raise up the audio a little bit. I did have it a little too high on the intro, but at least we have audio. So that's about maxed out. I hope I'm not redlining it yet, but anyway, there's a lot going on, and I think that with tonight's show, I can give you guys a bit of a roadmap to see where we're going to go this next year. The cover-up probably is going to go way into 2026, 27, 28, but it's going to unravel to the point we're not exactly going to be able to put our finger on it, but I think we're going to be able to say I told you so to quite a number of believers. Now, there's a few things coming out. I did get done watching the TMZ special on Jeremy Corbell. I didn't even know TMZ had done a previous episode from last year. And what's bad is they only did, I think, a couple, like 2 or 3 episodes as a season now. I mean, I thought Disney was bad doing 6 episodes of Star Wars as a season, but now it's down to 2 and 3 as a season. So anyway, it is what it is. So the Jeremy Corbell show, that was 3 hours. That was hell entertaining to watch, where he went to Congress. So it was 3 hours of watching him. Jeremy Corbell catches a hell of a lot of flack from the UFO community, and so does Stephen Greer. And some of it's deserves and some of it's not. Yeah, you don't gotta stop. But this thing you guys got to watch. You got to watch this thing with Jeremy. So what it's about is, it's pretty recent too, up until I think November of 2024. It's about him going to Congress again, and the whole thing with the Immaculate Constellation documents. He does drop some videos. He does mention he has hard drives full of videos that he's sitting on. Well, the thing with Jeremy is not a video analyst. He's a journalist. So when he gets a video, I don't think he really knows exactly if he's getting a real video or shit. Like, for example, the 29 Palms video that they put up, that they sat on that for a while. I saw that. I knew that was a flare exercise immediately, but they didn't, because they didn't have experience. So even though they said they vetted it, people make mistakes vetting. However, that said, this show with Jeremy, he goes to put these Immaculate Constellation documents in the record. I think there's 18 pages to this. Now, most of us here have read these documents. They're online if you want to find them. They're pretty easy to find. However, the whole point of the show is they never even showed really what was in those documents. What the show was about was Jeremy blowing a temper tantrum, and just, that was the entertainment. Jeremy just blowing it because he didn't get credit for the document. See, on the document, the cover page was his signature, and he submitted it into the congressional record. But then Nancy Mace got handed to him, and he just, for some reason, she quoted Michael Schellenberger, and Michael didn't say anything to correct the record, and he just kind of let it go. And Jeremy, I mean, he just lost it. He just lost his shit. And then he goes into how he's protected whistleblowers for a very long time, and now their lives are at stake. So the episode tries to convince the viewer that these whistleblowers' lives are in jeopardy because the cover letter with his credits missing. It's preposterous. I mean, the job here is to end the cover-up. It doesn't matter who gets credit for it. We're all going to end up in a graveyard or cremated after a finite amount of time. Doesn't matter what we got credit for. I don't give a shit. I just want this to experience the best life we have while we're here. But Jeremy really wants that credit. And Jeremy has done a hell of a lot for ufology. Before he came around, we were stuck in the mud. And it's not that he got us out of the mud, but I mean, he's dropped a lot of videos. He's dropped the jellyfish video, which I think it looks like an alien and an exoskeleton flying around. He's dropped the Omaha video, the object going into the water, USO. He's dropped the radar videos. He's got other stuff. So he's, like it or not, Jeremy is going to be around for a very long time. So there's no getting rid of him. So anyway, that's the show. Check that out. But the new game in town is the egg. Everybody's already calling it the egg. If you guys know who Wes Decker is, he's on the Thomas Felser show a lot. He's also, he's on Twitter. He released some videos, or not videos, photos. Very, very good photos of what looked like, now it's a silver aluminum egg. That you got a couple of pictures in the sky. Hey, Andy, how you doing? So yeah, Wes Decker got some real good photos. Now, I seen something like that. I've shot a video once on August 5th, 1995. It's not very good, but it's a video I shot of 3 UFOs in the daytime. Before I picked up the camera and started recording it, I looked at it through a spotting scope. And I saw a silver, what looked like the gimbal, with a small dome. It was the color of a dull spoon. It looked just like Wes Decker's type of photo. That's what I saw, but he got the photo. There's a new Bob Lazar movie now. That one I haven't heard about. Drop the details in the comment, and we'll keep the audience informed on that. So anyway, so check out what Wes has. But so a lot of people calling these eggs now. Anyway, there's another video I wanted before we get too deep into this. So there's another video coming out in 7 weeks or so. There's a video coming out from Clive Christopher called Observe and Report. That's one where I'm in, where we show some different flying humanoid videos, and we get into these blue orbs, blue and red orbs that are filmed very close up. Now, these aren't craft you can step into because they're the size of your fist, but they are part of the UFO phenomenon. They were filmed in, I think, 4K, and that is coming out March. And then also a new documentary called Age of Disclosure is coming out. Now, Age of Disclosure is going to be more like what we just saw. It's going to be hyped big time. It's coming out at the South by Southwest Festival in March. And this has, I think his name is Jay Stratton. Jay Stratton is the next guy in line to come out. So he's basically David Grush's boss. He is the guy who had the Go Fast video erased from Mr. Gaudet's top secret server. This guy has some pull. So what we're going to see in the future is the people who are in charge of like ATIP, OSAP, whatever you want to call it, the leaders of this coming together, retired, and going forward with the public. This is going to widen the UFO highway so wide eventually that even the naysayers and the people who don't believe this type of stuff are going to go, come on, what the hell's going on here? So let's get this over with. Yeah, Jeremy did make a Lazar movie. But Jeremy's movies all seem to be more about Jeremy than the actual thing. And that's okay, but that's his gig, but eventually people are going to move on. If he wants to go down in the history books, he's going to go down, but go down pretty cool, man. Yeah, let's get into that, man. Let's get into that egg. I took that egg video, and I ran it through AI, and I ran it through a couple of filters to stabilized it. I got some words on top of words here. Let's shut this down. And all right. So a lot of news is going on. This egg video is what people are talking about. Now, some people say it's bullshit. Some people say it's real. I'm going to tell you what I think. So we will get into video number 1, because there are two videos of this. So let me get this queued up. So in the first, so what I did was I took the video of the egg, and I ran it through a stabilizer 2 different times. The first time, I took just the egg, and I took the upper portion of it, and I just locked in that egg, and I just want to see if there's anything stand out. The second part is when I locked in on what looked like I guess it's a rock, and it looked kind of like a pyramid type rock. So I just wanted to lock in on that rock, and then just let everything fall into place around that. There's going to be a little bit of audio at the beginning of this, and then it's going to roll through maybe 6 or 7 times. The clip's about 30 seconds long, and it's going to roll through some enhancements of it blown up in 4K. All right, so I'm going to talk over this a bit. We're rolling through the stabilization where it stabilized the egg. And this goes through a number of different 4K engines. I just want to see if anything can come out of this. Now, what we're seeing, I initially thought this was grass, but that was just my mind playing tricks on me. There's no grass in the desert. This does not look like the desert for a guy who lives in the desert. The best I can tell is we're looking at dirt. There's no sign of trees. There's no sign of swirl cactuses. There's no sign of mesquites, Joshua trees. No classic desert thing. What I'm thinking is, according to Jake, he has a pick zone and a drop zone. So you have the area you pick it up, and you have the area you drop it off to. So I'm thinking the LZ that this would be cleared in debris. So the object basically is, when it drops, the momentum from the helicopter is shifted into the egg as it rolls. There's also a huge spotlight because you can see a shadow projected to the right. So there's a spotlight off to the left, and it's probably those ones that you pull behind vehicles that have like gas generators, and there's 4 or 5 lights that crank up. So this was a night drop. There's most likely personnel off to the side and a flatbed truck with a crane on it that's gonna pick this up and put it on. They likely just used the crane to pick up they called it the pumpkin, is what Jake referred it to it, as the wraparound blanket or basket. It's a plastic rubberized sheath that's holding the egg, and that's a standard issue thing apparently in recovery of these type of UFO objects. So they probably just took a crane and hooked it right back up to that pumpkin rig or whatever, and lifted it up, put it on a flatbed, and drove out of there. The number of these objects that Jake talked about, just the ones he's involved in, it's a couple of handfuls of recovery. So it sounds like this is so normalized that the United States government probably has several hundred recovered UFOs. This one apparently was surrendered via what he calls psionics, where a person was able to basically get this craft to come down, and we got about 20 seconds left on this clip, and surrendered this object. Which the 3-hour video of Jake, it's got a lot to talk about in there. It's quite a lot there. So that is entered into the UFO record now, this egg, which we probably are going to find out is maybe the first UAP UFO imagery we got. Now, how did he get it? Apparently, Jake didn't provide this imagery, which, from what I'm hearing online, is highly illegal. So before we go into some more here, I've heard of Gravatar. There's not going to be any roto wash if it's 150 feet down and you're dealing with the rocks. It's going to be I mean, you probably can wear a hat. My hair would go all to hell, but I mean, it's not going to be too noticeable if you're hovering over dirt and the helicopter's up, 100, 200 feet. There's always going to be jokes about this. Did you guys hear about the second egg video that came out? There was another one that came out Monday. This is going to be scrutinized to death. Now, according to Jake, he was flying a Bell helicopter, a twin rotor, twin engine. So to me, that screams chin hook, right? I mean, what other twin? Well, I guess there's Osprey. I'm not a military aviation expert, but yeah, I don't know. So I imagine it would be something pretty heavy duty, like a chin hook, to lift us up. He says the only thing they really know when they leave is estimated weight and probably pick up and drop off location. They're not told where to put it. But yeah, I mean, if you guys watched the 3-hour uncut video of the interview, wow. At first, when I watched it, it reminded me of Al Capone's vault when Geraldo opened it and there was nothing there. That was kind of the feeling I had. And then I knew when they got into the thing with the hard drives and the Panasonic cases I knew what had happened. When you get on TV, TV's not the best medium because you're soundbited to death. The editor doesn't care about the truth. They care about the commercials and taking the talent that's talking and soundbiting them to death to sell those commercials. And then you got explaining to do later. The best mediums out there are radio and podcasts because you're not pressed for time. Some of the stuff they talked about even got into that movie Dreamscape, for Christ out loud. You remember that movie with that guy who turned into the snake who can get into the president's head? Yeah. I mean, if people really, really want the truth to this, the truth's going to be a different world to live in. It's going to be aliens are real. They're probably interdimensional. They're living on this planet alongside us for a very long time. We're going to question the genesis of every religion because of it. Apparently, a lot of things that we took for, movies, for example. A lot of movies might have seen that we thought were sci-fi could have been tinkered with the script writers. For example, I think a lot of people think they watch Close Encounters of the Third Kind, and that just hits way, way too close to the truth. Like Steven, who told Steven about that, right? And then we got other stuff like the movie Stargate. There's another one. The writer of Independence Day went on to write like a bunch of other disaster movies. Or these beings possibly interacting with people's subconscious and dreams and putting in suggested ideas into their head, and then they have the fruit of this idea and they write it down. Like Jim Cameron got the idea for the Terminator from a dream, but then later he got sued because he actually lifted most of that idea from a black and white science fiction film. But the point is, a lot of things we've seen as movies probably are closer to the reality than we'd like the movie The Thing. How long will it be until we find out that the United States government or somebody has found a UFO that's been in the ice for back to the Neanderthal days and they dug it out? Well, it could be no more than just a couple of minutes from now, because that's going to bring us into the second egg video. Some more good news I want to say about that this is going to come to an end is because the government has lost control of the cover-up. If they had full control, They would have killed this guy a long time ago before he got on television. They would have eliminated him. They would have wiped out Lewis. They would have used you, and when you're no longer useful to them, a helicopter accident happens and you're liquidated. The other thing is the people who are in charge of this are resorting to being trolls. They have now, to counter these leaks, they have social media trolling. That's about it. When you're down to anonymous trolling on social media, you're losing this. You're treading water pretty bad. So let's get into the next egg video. And here's what I mean. The thing with Jake came out on Saturday. 48 hours later, by Monday, a second egg video came out on 4chan. And along with this video came a tidal wave of other things with it. Now, I sit there and I wonder, who did this? Who has the ability to put together this much information this fast to flood the internet with shit? Well, I can't do it. I don't have that kind of ability. I mean, I'm an IT guy, a jack of many trades, but I don't just know how to do that. Now, we have a lot of out of work special effects people that were laid off. Now, those type of people can do it. But who can do that? Who can put together an egg video and all this documentation within 48 hours and publish it? Well, you know what the debunkers like to do? You know, Mick West and those type of people, they like to play the more likely game. And they play it with me a lot. Tom, what's more likely? That you filmed a drone or an alien spacecraft? And they get all fucking smug. Well, what's more likely? That the second egg shit was put out by Mick West, Susan Gerbic, and the Guerrilla Skeptics, or just some guy in his mom's underwear came up with this? I'm putting my money on the Mick West people, along with the DNI and the CIA, are putting out counterintelligence to flood the internet with a bunch of crap. So let's take a look. What do you think? What's more likely, that Mick West and CIA counterintelligence people came up with this, or a guy in his underwear? So let's look at the second egg video. Now, a second, turn one off, turn this one on. Now, this is a still frame from the second egg video. Now, let me tell you a little bit about the setup here. According to this person, this other egg was extracted from Antarctica from the Queen Elizabeth mountain range. And it's a video of a helicopter, it looks pretty high up, hauling an egg that's swinging below it. When people started looking up the Queen Elizabeth mountain range through imagery and satellite imagery, this area was blurred out. So it made it very, very suspicious. Why is this area blurred out? So there's a video online of this. It went through Twitter. It doesn't matter if it gets on Twitter, TikTok, Reddit, or wherever. It goes from one social media and hops around like basically a virus. So that comes with more imagery. Along with that imagery was a couple of photographs. One of the photographs was this egg that is up on the screen now in this cave. Okay, so that was a second one. And just a second. The next photograph. Okay, this photograph here apparently shows indentations of what the person was claiming were hieroglyphics. There's 30 or 40 of these going around the egg. It looks like they're indented, kind of like a fingerprint. According to the source of this, there was a being, a male being, a humanoid that came along with the object. Now, some more images of this egg in this cave. I don't know how the hell they got it out of here. It looks pretty much just like the other egg here. Now, let me move this egg up a bit. So in this imagery, this alien was in this coffin, this box, right? So this is an alien box, according to this guy. So this, I don't know, 7-8 foot tall humanoid who had, for you ladies listening, male genitalia, and he's single and he's in a prison in Europe, was sleeping in this box and apparently woke up, and there were smaller boxes with it. So the bullshit continues with another photograph, and this box was next to the egg. So along with that comes these photographs up on the screen now, which show the thing being loaded onto a flatbed. So this is what comes out from the second source. This comes 48 hours after this drops. Now, what's more likely? The CIA put this out, or some kid in his basement, right, who's bored? He also put out, I saw on Twitter the other, I just gave up on this, but they put out the alien talkie. And the alien apparently didn't build this. The alien got the egg from Egypt. So who the hell knows? But the whole point is, when this happens, immediately the internet is flooded. The internet, social media is flooded with anonymous people who are experts and everything, just saying, nope, dude, nope. Now we have supporting video evidence and stuff. So this will just flood everything. So I'm wondering, now what if whoever put this Egg 2 video up, they didn't know what was coming, right? What if this was one of those saucers that Jake Barber mentioned that was an octagon-shaped saucer? Would we have octagon stuff on 4chan? Would there be all the... So it seems that on the ready, this is fake information is ready to come out to counter. Now, the only people who could do this would be CIA. And if you listen to Jake's interview, he says, I can't name who I work for. Well, he can't, but I can. It's the CIA. You know, Dobsters are not going to let him come out and say the CIA is out there killing people and stuff, but they are. They have been for a long time. Also, the DNI. These people are doing this too. But watch carefully. Jake lets it slip. He's not as good as keeping his secret as Lou Elizondo is. So at one point, he mentions that people he can call are CIA security. Well, wait a minute. How can you call CIA security for protection if you never worked for them? So what it looks like is these whistleblowers are all come through the military. The cover-up from the top down comes from the CIA, then the Air Force, and then down through that. We can tell who's doing the cover-up by who's not doing the talkie. The Navy's pretty open with this. But when it comes to the Army and Marines, we don't really see, they're not recovering UFOs, right? But when it comes to the Air Force, they don't say nothing. So it's definitely the Air Force people doing it. So what they do is they basically recruit out of these 30-some people. So here's an image on the screen of, let's say, 30 whistleblowers. These are the whistleblowers that are going to be coming out in the next couple of years. Now, how you can kind of tell what's going on with Ross is he tells you stuff, and then he's been good on delivering on his promises. When he said in 2025, all hell's going to break loose. Well, he was talking about this documentary, or this, he's been working with Barber for a couple of years, so he knows what's coming. And then Jay Stratton, I heard, has a book coming out, and he's coming out An Age of Disclosure, a documentary. So he's the next guy coming to widen up the UFO road, and it's not going to get smaller or smaller. And the rabbit, or the cat's not going in the bag. So that said, what do you guys think? I mean, We have these new UFO documentaries coming. All right. So I think this has tempered our expectations when the next one's coming. Don't get your hopes up too high, but let's just be glad that they're coming. Now, I've seen people say, why does it have to be like this? Why does it have to go through a streamer? Or why don't they just do a press conference? Good points. Good points. And I'll address those right now. One point, how could they say that we have a UFO recovery video and it's coming out in 4 days and the government not shut that down? Well, if they shut it down, it just justifies that they do have a recovery video. Another one, why don't they just dump it on Reddit? Why don't they just dump it on Twitter? Well, they do, and they have. The second video is the stuff I showed you that was dumped on a 4chan that then gets on Reddit and all the social medias. So that's what happens in a social media dump. Not much. So let's just take, for example, that 4chan egg is real, just for sake of argument. How many people watching this 4K broadcast here heard of it? And you guys are experts. You guys have your ear to the ground and you know what's up. Now, how many people at work, at our jobs, how many of our family members seen it? Probably 0.0, right? So when you go through the process of getting this on a streamer, and then you got to sign the contracts and the NDA, it sucks. Believe me, I had it happen. I was lucky to have it happen one time, right? Well, I'll gladly do it again. The deal is then when it comes out on the streamer, we're all talking about it. Everybody. I mean, then it's viral. It's forced. Everybody's talking about it. Now, you have family members and coworkers that doom doom, and all of a sudden it's on Netflix and it pops up and they're going, hey, what's this? More alien shit. Let's watch it, right? Now they're going to see it. Now they're never going to see that if it's just dumped on social media. So does that make sense? That if you take the time and you set it up, then it becomes a conversation piece. It enters into the zeitgeist of the public. It's slower, but that's the world we live in. But yeah, that's gonna happen. That's gonna happen with these next shows. With the Age of Alien, I hope people talk about Clive shows too, and who knows what else is coming out. He did mention getting radiated. Just a sec here. Yeah, now, Stephen Guerrero also mentioned that a lot of these people that have this ability are left-handed people who are gay or bisexual. Now, how many people are going to jump on the bandwagon saying, I'm gay too? Fuck it. If I get special powers, I'm gay. Give them to me. I don't know. But that wasn't Stephen. Okay. Now, I didn't think I'd ever get to this point of saying it, and I'm coming out and saying, maybe Stephen Greer was right on one or two things. He didn't make this up. He got that from his source, who told him these are the people you end up meeting, right? And he's just reporting what's coming along. So yeah, don't kill the messenger there. But yeah, some of the stuff he said was just okay. Just hard to believe. Now he called this psionics. I call it channeling because what the hell's the difference? You're meditating, right? They got this egg apparently that we saw in this video surrendered itself to whoever summoned it. Now, that's the type of stuff you see in a Star Wars movie where somebody's trying to get away and the dark side goes like this and they use the Force to force the ship to land. Now, this is where a lot of people are going to have a hard time. That you can go through space, come over here, only to have, somebody basically, I don't know what, carjack your spaceship or something like that and make you... This goes against everything we've ever been told. We were told that humans can't power alien ships because they need telepathy, and we'll have telepathy, or they control them with their mind. Now we're told the exact opposite. We can take it from I'm going to have a hard time actually believing this. If you watch the documentary, about maybe 2 hours into it, Jake mentions you got to channel him. So he kind of slipped up. He kind of slipped up with that psionic talk. He said channeling. So who cares if it's psionic, if it's meditation, if it's force, if it's channeling, if it's remote viewing, as long as it gets done. I think all of us have heard of cases of murder investigations where the cops are at a complete loss. So they go to a psychic medium, and the psychic medium somehow points out this is where the dead body's located, and they find him. And the cops are like, there's no way this person, unless they did it, knew this. So there's like an extrasensory ability. But the problem is this is not repeatable. That's why science doesn't get in, because with science, you have to repeat it. And if you can't repeat it, they don't call it science. Or maybe there's a different version of science where it's not repeatable, but you know it's there. Just one sec. I need to fix the chat for some reason. Now, I did see some good news, at least on my end, is they are installing fiber going down the street. So I am getting fiber put in here. Not only, I think I got a pretty good stream going right now, but yeah, fiber's coming in. So should be getting this in here pretty soon. There we go. I got checks. So perfect time for your new. Yeah. Now, good time for Trump to come out. Andy, great point. Now, is it Tim Gaudette? I have a pretty good photographic memory. I proved it to my wife because she said, go to the grocery store and get half and half, which I don't drink. And I got the exact same kind without taking a photo. But Tim Gaudette, he was the admiral who said that Go Fast popped up on his military top secret stream. And I think he's head of the CIA right now. So this guy, you know, just got in and he's fucking sitting there reading all that because he either right now either dissolves the cover up or he becomes a part of it. So what would you do if you just got in the CIA and you're the top dog, right? I'd lock that door behind me and I'd say, bring me Roswell. No, start with Italy and then Roswell going up and get me some Red Bulls. This is going to be an all-nighter. And I'd be watching everything. So this is our best shot, I think, maybe is this guy, if he has the power. But it's ultimately going to be the President of the United States. They're going to make the shot. They're going to make the call. But this is the closest we've ever been to. And we may not need I don't need the government to tell me UFOs are real to know they're real. And most people here don't either. It'd be nice for them to come out and say it's real and start breaking out all those videos. Is Stephen Greer left-handed? And then we all know that next question. You know what? It doesn't matter as long as he gets the job done, right? But if Stephen Greer is owed an apology, and he's not yet, that's on hold. But if he is, then first comes Prophet Yahweh. Because Prophet Yahweh was the guy who said he could summon him first. And yeah, I went up to Vegas, went to his house for a couple days. No, he couldn't summon anything that I saw. We saw some grocery bags. He got fucked by Venus and whatnot. But at least he tried. And the people who say that he released the balloon, or his friends did, so he could film it, a guy who can summon UFOs doesn't need to release a balloon. I think they did that for a test, just to see for comparison, because any guy who's a Skywatcher eventually is going to, film balloons and compare. But ufology is going to owe a lot of people an apology. It's not going to be just Yahweh or Greer. It could go all the way down to, John Mack, Bud Hopkins, David Jacobs, all the people doing experience or research, because that's the key to this, is they left a lot of good breadcrumbs with the experiencers. Now, as far as the whistleblowers, we're looking at about 30 of these guys, and I think they're coming forward. What we're probably, maybe more, there's probably 30 we're going to see in the next year or two, and then maybe 90 to 200, I would estimate, in year 3, 4, and 5 coming down the road. Now, when it comes to who are these whistleblowers, one thing is they all come from Gary Nolan, all of them. Gary is the key to all of this. Gary is the guy, the doctor, who I think got all these guys disability because they were heavily affected. Another guy here, let's bring in Rick Doty. Rick Doty is a regular on Thomas Fessler's Disclosure Tonight broadcast, which I think comes on about an hour after this show, and it's a very well polished, very well done, dedicated disclosure broadcast. He's got everybody who's somebody who has been on that show. That guy has his finger in the pulse of what the hell is going on. Now Thomas, I believe, is right-handed. So Thomas, while Thomas may be a great gay guy, and I may be right-handed, he may be gay, but, you know, I don't have the left hand. So maybe, you know, one of us could switch. Our powers together could be like the Wonder Twins, and we could summon one of these. It's just funny. Back to these whistleblower guys. So Rick Doty, anyway, says that there are 90 whistleblowers. So that means he would know a good chunk. We don't know, but, I mean, a lot of people say Rick's full of shit because he was OSI and he had to lie in the past, but that's what your job is. When you sign up to the military tells you what to do. You don't get to pick and choose what the hell you're going to do. I mean, if Rick didn't want that, he turned it down, and he could go guard penguins in Alaska for what they could have done to him. So his job's over and done, and everyone deserves a second chance. So next to that, we have Ross Coulthart. Now, Ross is another guy who knows these whistleblowers. And then after that, we have Jeremy, Kenyon, Lockyer, Corbell. It's got enough names for all of us, right? Now, all these guys know the whistleblowers. And then we got Lou Elizondo. Now, and then we have Stephen Greer bringing it the rear. So all of the whistleblowers talk to these people. And I was wondering before, why the hell you guys go to Richard Gere? Why you guys go to Dr. Stephen Greer? I mean, if you're a real whistleblower, that seems like the last guy I'd go to. But if that psionic stuff is true, then I could see the point where they're gonna go, hey, everybody says you're full of shit, and you sort of are, but you're kind of right on that CE5 thing. But we'll see, you know. Now, we don't treat ufology or whistleblowers very good. We need to treat them, I think, a lot better. And I'm not talking us and you. I'm talking, you know, the social media people, the people who you know, they have avatars and handles and stuff. A portion of the UFO community is very bad to any whistleblower. Like, for example, we've been waiting for whistleblowers from Area 51 to come forward for how long? And then when somebody does, they get sand kicked in their face. And then you guys got his friends going there drinking beer going, hey, Todd, told you, dumbass. They're going to shit on you, right? So what's the next guy going to do? So we had Lou Elizondo come forward. What happens? The Greens shit on him. And I'm talking about John Greenwald and Green Street, the two nastiest guys on Twitter, used to be in the UFO camp, and they're not the cool kids no more. So either way, they're going to be, you know, a Heather. If I can't be a popular person, I'll be a bad, unpopular person. Either way, you're going to talk about them, right? And then they bitch. Why won't these people, why won't they talk to me? They blocked me. Can't I interview them? Because when they came out and said, my name is, before they said their last name, you took a shit on them. That's why. listen to these people for once. So I know some people are going to say this video of the egg is fake and whatnot. But how are we going to explain the Lonnie Zamora police officer incident where we saw egg land? So there's a lot of cases of eggs going through UFO history. If we're cool, we'll figure out what being or alien race fancies that egg. Which one uses that? Now, here come the Mork jokes, right? It's the Mork race. But there's some race out there that probably it has it. So let's be cool with these whistleblowers. There's going to be a whole bunch more of them coming later on this year. So when Ross says something, I think I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna be cautious, but I think he's proven his trust here because, I ain't here to bullshit nobody. If he royally fucked up, I'm gonna just come out and say it. You done shit the bed here. You want full Amber Heard on all of us. So let's be easy on these guys. Let's get these whistleblowers coming out. Let's let them have their say. He couldn't get the full say out in that 45 minutes. He explained more about what was going on with those Panasonic hard cases. Apparently somebody inside the recovery team was illegally videotaping everything. So somebody apparently had 5 computers full of hard drives. And you know how much can be stored on a hard drive, right? You can store half of Netflix on one. So it must have been tons and tons of crashes, like all of them or something, to have 5 computers, multiple hard drives. Somehow they recovered them from the bottom of a lake. So I don't know, those hard drives must have GPS or something built in to detect that. You can't get GPS from the bottom of 25 feet underwater. How the hell they get that? I don't know. So there's a story of the people in charge of the cover-up ripping themselves apart. Because one side wants some of it out, and the other side doesn't. So let's just see. Because if we're cool with these whistleblowers, and we help them out, and we say, look, man, you're risking everything to come forward. It's going to take a lot of courage, and it's going to take you putting it all on the line to do it. But we have to have their back. Because if we don't have their back, no one else is coming forward. So it's up to the UFO community to, look within ourselves and be our best researchers that we can do. This is the moment we've all been waiting for. We are fucking lucky to be alive right now when this is happening. I mean, even with this in the grasp, it still could take another 20 years, but be lucky that this is happening. Now, we could blow it as a UFO community and shit on all these people. And then we can have our grandchildren to answer to that. Back in 2020s, this was within reach and we fucked up. So I'm talking to people named Green and all these debunkers. You guys are going to have a lot to account for when this is all said and done. Because there's going to be a day of reckoning for you guys. Be a witness protection program you might want to go into. So yeah, this is all coming to a head here. I'm just glad this has come out the way it has, and yeah, it's always going to come through these guys. It's Rick's kind of retired. Rick is put in his dues. He's came full circle. I was going to replace Rick with Jay Stratton. Jay Stratton is going to be the new player coming into the scene. I'm hoping that he has a book we can read so we can deep dive into these details. And I do believe that all of the whistleblower type of people that are coming out, for the most part, are CIA contractors. Because, the breadcrumbs were dropped in front of us. It's up to us to align the dots. If you read Lou's book, he mentions a part in there about these people who are on disability. And it was Gary Nolan who helped them get the disability. And these are people, from what I understand, had radiation sickness from being too close in contact with NHI. Was it radiation sickness? I don't know. I haven't seen the medical records. But Jake said that this happens to approximately 50% of the operatives that are tier 1 involved in these cover-ups. So it's extremely dangerous. Now, I've had this happen too, and I have a photo. I did post a couple of photos on my Twitter. I don't have them queued up here on the stream, but I had my skin fall off as recently as a few months ago, and it's only back of my hands because I'm taking methotrexate, which is a pretty goddamn powerful drug. Is a drug that it's clearing up my skin. It's great for if you have eczema or psoriasis, but I've all that on steroids. And if you're pregnant, this could cause an abortion. If you're on this drug and you're a man and you get a woman pregnant, it could cause an abortion. It's just a nasty drug to be on. So that's kind of my little message out. If this video gets to Gary Nolan, and Gary is good at taking care of the trolls and taking out the trash, I'd like to talk to Gary. I'd like to get 5 minutes of his time. I don't know what happened to me. Nobody does. But if there's only, about 2,000 people on the planet who have to live with the skin falling off their body, I think we should, join heads and put, and find out if we're experiencers or not. Because you do not want to walk around without skin on your feet. And you will become disabled if you don't have skin on you anymore. So that was, this hour's coming up pretty damn fast. This whole episode here is dedicated to this whistleblower. So thank you for coming out, and thanks for the next one. This is real progress, and it feels like it. It feels like this is finally coming to an end. It just does. I mean, I know of a few other things, and I hate saying I can't say it because they're television productions. You can't say it when they're in development, but there's other stuff coming. Hey, more Quivia Studios is coming out, and the drones are still going on in New Jersey. I had a brief phone call today with John Tedekis. The two Tedekis brothers are the guys with the RV. Thank Dave Altman for introducing me to these guys. These guys have the night crawler out in New Jersey. There still are drone sightings out being there, but they're not being covered by the media because I guess they got bored and move on. Now, one thing that I think, at least I want to try and get out of what happened with the New Jersey drones is there should be a documentary made about this. Hint, Christopher. So this is a great material to get this documented before ufology moves so fast. Now, the videos that I'm trying to find, and I'm not a Twitter power user, so maybe someone here is, can point this out to me. Sometime around November 6th, 7th, or 8th, when the drone New Jersey thing broke out, there was a video I saw on Twitter that was filmed by a man and a woman that were in a car, and they drove towards a blue orb that was hovering above a tree line. So what the video shows is they're driving at night. You can see some trees that are about 50 feet high, and there's a blue orb above it, and they're discussing what is this thing. So as they drive to the orb, I think the guy gets out of the video and he starts filming it, and the blue orb looks just like that orb that you're going to see coming from Clive's video in 7 weeks or so. And about the same size and exact same color. And it's hovering up there, and then it turns into a quadcopter, except at the bottom of that is still the blue orb. But it's not like the camera on the gimbal, it's the blue orb under a quadcopter, and then it flies over them and leaves. And I'm thinking, damn. And that was just when this was rolling out. That's a video that I want to vet. I want to find out if that's real, who shot that, meet the people it shot, get them on the show, get a copy of that. This is why I think maybe they flooded the zone with garbage. If we had a bunch of orbs that were showing up, and there's talk of them transforming into other vehicles, aircraft, maybe they flooded the zone with just regular drones, just so everyone was confused. I don't know. We got to figure this out. This is a modern day sighting. It just happened. It happened on, a lot of iPhone 14s. So let's find that footage. That's one of the best ones I've seen. And the police officers that launched their own drone, and they went up and said it didn't show up on thermal. Now, I don't think they deleted that, right? Because since when do cops delete evidence unless they're smoking marijuana? So they should have that. So we just got to find out what county that was in and do a FOIA request to try and get that video and pay for whatever, copies it costs for them to email us a copy of that video. So that's at least 2 things from New Jersey I think should be looked into and put on the permanent record. So I'm going to wrap this up. No, I'm not normally good at speaking in English. English is my second language. Alien, I think it's my first. So I'm a Dracaholic, is that right? I'm left-handed, but not gay. See, if you put your chocolate in a peanut. No, that's the wrong analogy. See, we get a left-handed guy and then a gay guy who's not left. Okay, a right-handed gay guy with a straight-handed left-hand guy or some shit like that, and then you can summon them. Man, we got to have a sense of humor about some of it. Some of this stuff's funny. Fuck, man. If we might be owing an apology to these guys. Hey, Elwood, J Blues, first time I've seen you here. Yeah. So I hope to see you guys back. I forget to say this. Some people say this all the time, but I think I did 5 of these podcasts. Accidentally deleted one of them, and I forgot to tell people, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, leave some comments on who you want to see on the show. If you want to be on the show, let me know. You can get a hold of me at tomking2030 at hotmail.com or redmec928 at gmail. On Twitter a little bit. I look through TikTok. I will not join anything Mark Zuckerberg is on. No, okay, radiation. Let me tell you about the radiation. This thing right here is a digital Geiger counter, all right? I've had that for about 1.5 years, maybe 2 years. It's called the GMC nuclear Geiger counter. I think they're about 60 or 70 bucks on Amazon. And what they do is they measure CMP and cervix, either one. And what I like it is it connects to your Wi-Fi, and then you upload it through your Wi-Fi every about 15 seconds. It goes into the GMC nuclear map. So if you look there and you look around Chandler over the 101 freeway, that's me. That's my, I dropped a pin there. That is my live nuclear detection of CMPs. So you can go back in time and look. So if I got radiated, then this would have went off. I did turn the alarm off, so I wouldn't heard the alarm, to tell you the truth. So I'd have to actually, to know the 100%, I'd have to go back through that and look. But I'm the only one who got it. Nobody else here. My wife didn't get radiated. My cats didn't get radiated. I had this happen when I was a kid. When I was in 5th grade, my hair fell out. My wife took me to the doctor, and my hair was, I could pull it out. It was like that time, I thought I had been irradiated. But I didn't, nobody knew what an abduction was, so I don't know. They could have been kidnapping me out of 5th grade. So it was nothing like that. I had no radiation sickness at all. This is just a very rare fucked up skin disease, but it could be, I'm not saying it's from, but it could be the aliens. It could be. Hey, Metal Gaming. Hey, good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while, man. Thanks. Yeah. Yeah. I also lost fuck ton of weight too. So that helped. And, I haven't seen Jan. Jan's around. Jan had some back problems. I got radio frequency ablation done on my back about 3 weeks ago. And that's where they stick some wires in your spine and they burn out your nerves going down to your leg. Because I have I have a bone spur on my lower disc, and it's pinching a nerve going down my leg. So it made me cripple, and I couldn't walk or exercise, and I got really fat. So that helped, but just by losing weight, getting the weight off those discs. So, yeah, at RFA, now, leg already hurts again because the fucking nerves grow back. So, but losing the weight helped. And I cheated, took some drugs, shot myself up and lost weight real fast. So I don't eat much. I don't eat too much. So what I'd like to do, hopefully, is I can get the Tedesco brothers on here. And I'd love to have them on the show when they have some time and show us around the Nightcrawler. Show us what kind of gear they use. I'd like to know what kind of radar they have. I am geared out. So I have maximum capacity gear. The only thing I'm missing is radar. So if I can figure out what they're using, I would like to add a radar to the house, fund it, pay for it. I don't ask anybody for money. They are self-funded just like I am. And it's cool because it's real grassroots. I don't know them. They don't know me. But we both kind of, a lot of us just said, hey, why don't we just take all these cameras lying around and put up our own NORAD system, right? That's what we're doing. And we're getting, we're getting results slow but sure. So I'm going to wrap this up. And good to see all you guys here. Maybe I'll hop onto the Fessler channel about an hour. But yeah, this has been one hell of a week. If you haven't, check out the full interview with Ross and Jake. It's going to go all over the place. It's going to answer most of your questions. Commercial free, no ads. No, and even I didn't even have YouTube try and force them in, because you can shut ads off and YouTube will force them on anyway. And none of that. So you can watch about 3 hours long of probably the best documentary of just letting this guy talk. I mean, I've been waiting for this for 54 fucking years, and we got it. We got this guy to talk. So I'm Tom King. I want to thank everyone for being here tonight. I'm going to be back next Friday, as always, at 5 o'clock on the 4K Skywatching podcast. I will probably be back Monday when rain finally rolls into town, and we're going to be watching 4K rainstorm in thermal and 4K on